What's up, y'all? Well, now, isn't that special? What's up, kiddo? How are we today? So I decided to do another video since my video yesterday wasn't everything I hoped it would be and more. Well, that's okay. What are you up to? Are you working? Nothing much, just relaxing. Well, that's good. I'm going to go home and relax today. Hopefully I don't fall out my chair again, but I probably will. Hey, we got another viewer in there. Hello, viewer. What's happening? Yeah. Take it easy through there. Off work for the next week, huh? Man, that must be nice. Of course, I just had, I took a trip last weekend. I really only had 3 days off. But it was nice to have, well, no, I didn't have 3 days off. I left on Friday after work. Or did I? No. What did I do? Oh yeah, I did. I left like right after I got off work. I drove to Kentucky Friday. It took us 7 hours to get there. So we got there like 2 in the morning, and then I slept for a couple hours. Got up Saturday morning at 8, and had a funeral and everything to attend, and then stayed up pretty late Saturday night. And then Sunday, we drove back home, another 7.5 hours. So I spent 15 hours of my time this past weekend in my car, which I'm not complaining because, you know, when we went to Florida, that was 15 hours one way. So I split 15 hours up between 2 trips, or two ways, anyway. Yeah. Surgery number 3. And what are we having surgerized this time? I have to requested it due to surgery. Body ready for it again. I hope you're doing like diet and exercise. That's the best thing for your body to get you fit before you have surgery. You eat right and you get plenty of exercise and plenty of sleep. You know what I mean? Excuse me. I had a hairball, I guess. Yeah. So anyway, I got my 40 hours in this week. So tomorrow will be strictly overtime all day long, thank God. The days just seem like, the days are a little more fun to work when you're working overtime for 10 hours. And then I might do it again Saturday, but we got some weather coming in. I hope everybody's ready for the blizzards and storms and the hail and everything that's going to be raised over the next few days. I'm hearing the Carolinas are supposed to get some snow and ice. Yay. I think we're supposed to get 4 or 5 inches of snow here. I'm not even sure. I don't really like snow as much as I used to. I used to really enjoy it. But I've seen more snow here, and let's see, I've been here now 15 years, almost 16. I've been here that long. I've seen more snow here in that 16 years than I saw in Charlotte probably in 30 years. Well, Charlotte surrounding area, because you know they get mostly like ice there now, unless of course it comes up out of Atlanta. And if it comes up out of Atlanta, they usually get hit pretty hard, but I don't know. They're put a smaller stent so stones can pass. Okay. I don't know why you would put a smaller one in. Isn't that going to cause it to be blockage? You'll have to excuse me, but I'm not scientifically capable of understanding the reasoning for putting a smaller stent in. It seemed to me they would put a larger one in. What? That's just me. Oh, that one's clogged. Okay. So they're going to take it out, huh? Well, you know it's already blocked and I've had it a month. Okay. Well, you know, kidney stones have a lot to do with your diet. If you drink a lot of soda and eat a lot of junk food out of boxes or cans, that'll cause kidney stones, you know? I've never had a kidney stone that I know of. I don't think I've ever had one, unless I had one when I was a kid, but I don't remember. That was a long. Yep. Anyway, so I got another viewer in there. Hello, viewer. What's happening? So I guess everybody heard by now the wonderful news that they got old William Kelly, Mr. Walking Talking Trash, up there in Minnesota. You know, the guy that went into the church. Yeah, they got him today, thank God. All I can say is he better be glad I wasn't in that church when he came in there. I'd have made quick work of him, but that's here or there. You know, the problem is not so much the fact that they got him. Now they got to convict him. See, that's the problem. But from what I understand, he's done this kind of shit before. So I think they'll have a pretty easy time putting him in prison. And we'll let the prisoners sort it out. Yeah, and I'm sure they will. Because, you know, people that are in prison don't like big mouths like that. They don't like guys coming in there. And, you know, if he goes in there, he's going to run his fucking mouth. He's going to be a thorn in everybody's side from day one. And he'll probably get kicked around a little bit, which he probably deserves, but, you know, so be it. Anyway, okay, I said it. Then they got the 2 black chicks that did the same thing in that church. One of them was a school board member, believe it or not. It makes you wonder, you know, if she's a member of the school board, she's pulling that kind of shit. You can only imagine the amount of indoctrination that's going on in the schools up there in Minnesota, if they allow people like that to run their schools. But, you know, I guess into today's society, we can't expect any more than that. You know, the quality of ethical teaching has gone out the window. Now they want to talk about diversity and equity and inclusion and all that bullshit. You know, fighting for rights they already have. It's so fucking stupid. You know, I just don't understand it. Anyway, I got somebody else in there watching. They ain't saying nothing, but they're watching. Well, that's okay. You go ahead and watch. If you're too embarrassed or too shy, I understand. It's cool. Don't worry about it. Anyway, I stayed busy pretty much all day today. That's a change. I started out this morning with not a whole lot to do, but I managed to get a few vehicles come through my line today and got them ready and get them out the door, you know. So now I'm on my way home to do my evening thing. I need to wash some clothes this evening, I think. Just in case the power goes out. Hopefully it won't, but it might. But, you know, the good thing is that I've got some backup power. Just enough to run the TV and, you know, my stereo and stuff like that. You know, I can run a space heater. Excuse me. Woo. Working class, you know. But I got enough power, I think, to run a space heater for at least a few hours, if not more. So that'll really help, you know, just in case. I don't think we'll lose power, but because, you know, we're not like Texas. We don't have a bunch of freaking windmills to be able to get froze up and stop working. Tommy's got a generator. Well, good for you, Tommy. All right. I should have gotten one of those a long time ago, but I could get one installed for about $2,000, but I ain't got $2,000 just to be throwing away. And I understand it's an investment, and I understand that, you know, things are going to come up, and I will use it, but I really can't justify it right now. I'd really like to get out of this house I'm in eventually and, you know, buy something else and maybe have a generator, you know, installed when I buy the house, but I don't know. That all depends. So you know how it goes. You think you're going to be set. Well, that's good. Well, Tommy's a little smarter than I thought he was. I'm just joking. Don't tell him I said that. He might get mad at me. Oh boy. I don't think Dee Dee and them will fare too well in it though if they lose power. But I expect I'll be hearing from her, Dad, we don't have any power. What do you want me to do about it? You know? Oh, Tommy wouldn't get mad at me? Okay, good. I hope he's the kind of person who can take a joke. You know what I mean? I'm pretty good at that. So let's talk about phone solicitors for a few minutes, or scam artists. So I figured out, see, most of these guys on my phone, these scams and these telemarketers, most of them ain't from America. And I don't know how stupid they think people are in America. I guess there are some pretty stupid people, especially the ones of the liberal persuasion are pretty stupid. I mean, if you look at what's going on with them, you know, and the psychotic things they're doing, but yeah. So these guys, they call my phone, right? And they're scam artists, and I know they're a scam. And I had one call today, and he wasn't any more American than, you know, the guy over in Afghanistan. And he tried to make me believe that his name was Michael Smith. And I said, you don't sound like a Michael Smith. Of course, he hung up on me after that, because he knew I knew what the game was, you know. I don't understand these folks. I've had a couple other ones call too, you know, that use American names. I guess they figure since if they use an American name, then I might pay a little better attention, or I might be a little more open to dealing with them or doing whatever it is. You got one daughter said I'm good. We got food, good. Generator and necessities. Now, did you get some toilet paper? the great toilet paper caper of 2026 coming to a town near you, right? So I've been checking out videos, and I was seeing where people were talking about, people were stocking up on toilet paper and paper towels. I guess that's so they can wipe their ass. Trips me out. And the media just keeps right up with the scaremongering, you know what I mean? Oh, we're gonna get more snow than we've ever seen. There was one of those meteorologists in Charlotte was talking about that, and I put on there, I commented on it, something to the effect of, that they're not going to get any more snow than they have any other time. They ought to be used to it by now. That's the Southeast. I remember living there and having ice storms, and it never really was that bad. And I don't imagine this time's going to be any worse. But they want to scaremonger people, and that just goes to show you that how powerful and manipulative the media is. You know what I mean? They get on they get on the horn and they start talking about, well, we're gonna have 20 million inches of snow and you're not gonna be able to move for a week and blah blah blah. And you better go get your milk, bread, eggs, and toilet paper. Yep. But that's how it goes, So you got all these brainwashed people, because they've been brainwashed into other things. So why not the weather, And what they don't realize too is that, a lot of this has to do with, the manipulation of the weather patterns and stuff. Now, there's a lot of people out there that don't believe that they're spraying the skies. They are. The fucking government's out there with their big airplanes, and they're shooting chemicals and shit in the air, and they're manipulating the weather. They don't make the weather happen. That's not what I'm saying. They have figured out how to manipulate the weather and make it do what they want it to do. And I guess, if you ever see the movie Twisters, that movie, well, actually Twisters 2, had a lot to do with that, scientific research and things like that. So they do manipulate the weather. They can't make it, but they can make it do what they want it to do. Never seen the movies. Okay, you have to watch Twister 1 in order to understand what's going on in Twister 2. Oh, Ashley, also Saturday, actually it starts tonight at theater near you, is the Megadeth Behind the Mask is what it's called. It's a documentary about Megadeth. They're doing their final studio album that's going to be released tomorrow, believe it or not. I've already put in for a copy of it. I pre-ordered it, an autographed copy of that album from a company on Facebook. And I know it's legit because somebody that I know has ordered from them before and were telling me that they are totally legit. So I'm going to be getting an album, the last studio album, that'll be autographed by Megadeth. So that'll be like the coolest thing. It'll be one of the coolest things I've ever had. But anyway, so this movie is a documentary about Dave Mustaine and Megadeth and how Megadeth came to be and that kind of thing. So they're going to do the complete album. I don't know if it's going to be like studio shots or what it is. I just know that the album, you can't go anywhere you don't drive still, unfortunately. Okay, so Tommy won't take you. You can't get, what's his name? Trey, can't get Trey to take you. That's pitiful, baby. You need to go see that shit. Anyway, I'm going to see it Saturday afternoon. So I'm looking forward to that. That'll be really cool. I'm going to wear my Megadeth shirt and stuff like that. But it only runs from the 22nd to the 29th. It's only a 7-day event, and it's limited cities, I think. You know, so like some of the major cities. I'm seeing it actually in St. Charles, Missouri. But you know, St. Charles is a pretty happening place. You know what I mean? I didn't get to take you to St. Charles while you were here, did I? Did we ever go to St. Charles? I don't know. It was like right along the river. I don't know if we did or not. But anyway, historic St. Charles. They've got a movie theater there. Well, not there, but you know, pretty close. So that's not you remember. Okay, yeah. So that's where we're going to go see it in St. Charles, Missouri. It ought to be pretty cool. It's got one of those screens, you know, that's kind of curved, I guess. And the sound system in that place is awesome. Oh, I'm sure it'll be fun. Dee got me the tickets for Christmas. That's the only thing I wanted for Christmas was tickets to this concert video thing with Megadeth. That's all I wanted. Yep. Just, you know me, I'm just a simpleton. I like the simple things in life. Actually, I think I make life more difficult than it should be sometimes, but that's all I wanted, and I got it, you know. But then she also got me a gift certificate for Texas Roadhouse, so we're going to go have steaks too. I like Texas Roadhouse. I might even drink a beer. How about that? Have a beer with steak dinner. Yep, that'd be nice. I haven't drank a beer in a long time. I just don't drink usually. But this is going to be God, I got heartburn. This is going to be a special occasion. So I might just indulge myself with an alcoholic beverage. The barley kind, not the liquor kind. I can't drink liquor. That shit makes me mean now. Oh yeah. But anyway, so yeah, I don't drink beer anymore. Not much. Every once in a great while I'll have one, maybe two. But it's very rare, you know, occasion. I bought a 6-pack of Natural Light back in like, I don't know, 2017, maybe 2018. It took me like a year to drink it all. I just don't care for alcohol. And that has a lot to do with, you know, somebody that you and I both know, you're really close to, that I used to be really close to. But fortunate enough for me, I'm not close to her anymore. That's all I'll say about that. Anyway, so I'm almost home. I only had 2 people come in and watch this video. I don't even know why I do this. I guess I keep hoping maybe that one of these days I'm going to score and I'll have, you know, 200, 300 people on here at one time. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm thinking maybe I'll just start doing album sales or something. You know, I think that's what I'm going to do when I retire. Is I'm going to go around and buy like people's heavy metal record collections and then auction them off. You know what I mean? Or sell them outright. I don't know the guy, but there's a guy that I buy records from in Tennessee, and he had a bunch of old records. I believe I don't remember the story. It seems to me he said he got them from like one of his relatives or something passed away, and they had a bunch of records. And he says, "Hey, you know, Mom, I'm gonna sell these and make lots of money on Facebook." And this guy gets on every night at 5:30, and I'll bet you he probably does it $5,000 or $6,000 worth of sales per night on his take you a power nap. Yeah, I know. But he does these videos, and he goes from like 5:30, 6 o'clock until like 2 o'clock in the morning every night. And then on Sundays he sells coins and knives and like currency and shit like that, you know, stuff that's hard to get. And like I said, he makes probably $5,000-$6,000 a night. And I've seen records, you know, just regular records go for $700-800 just for one record. And I'm like, how the fuck does anybody spend that much money on a fucking record? I'm up for spending, $20 or $30, but I'm not going to spend much more than that. And speaking of which, I've got one sitting on the front porch waiting on me to get home. All right, well, folks, I'm going to get out of here. You guys have a good evening. Thanks for riding home with me today. If you didn't, oh well, you missed out. And I'll talk to you guys another day tomorrow. I may be on tomorrow. Well, look at that. I get somebody else comes in at the last minute. I'm signing off. All right. Love you too, Ashley. We'll talk to you later. And for that person that came back in, I'm sorry you didn't see the whole stream. I'm here Monday, Wednesday, Friday, always around this same time. Check me out, subscribe, and like. I'd appreciate it. Have a good evening. And we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.